The frames are still hanging empty on the wall. Look at them. Heavy, ornate gilded wood, framing nothing but the textured green silk wallpaper behind them. For over 30 years, the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston has kept these empty borders in their exact places. They are not a design choice. They are a promise, or perhaps a permanent scar. It is March 18, 1990. The streets of Boston are winding down after a loud, chaotic St. Patrick's Day celebration. The air is cold, smelling of rain and stale beer. Inside the museum, a Venetian-style palace reconstructed in the heart of Massachusetts, the air is perfectly still. The sound of a dripping fountain in the central courtyard is the only heartbeat this building has left. Two security guards are on duty. One of them is a 23-year-old self-described hippie and part-time musician named Rick Abath. He is wearing a security uniform that doesn't quite fit, sitting behind a heavy wooden desk. His shift is quiet. It is always quiet. Then, at 1:24 a.m., the peace is broken. A buzzer sounds at the palace's side entrance on Palace Road. Abath looks at the security monitor. Two police officers are standing outside, their badges glinting under the dim streetlights. One of them speaks through the intercom, his voice flat, professional. He says they are investigating a disturbance inside the courtyard. Now, you have to understand the protocol here. It is strict. You do not let anyone in after hours, not even the police. If the police show up, you call the station to verify. But Abath is tired, and perhaps he is naive. He presses the button. The heavy door clicks open. Two men walk in. They look like real cops. They wear the uniforms, the heavy coats, the utility belts. One of them looks at Abath, then looks around the lobby. "You look familiar," the taller officer says. "I think we have a warrant for your arrest. Come out from behind the desk." Abath steps out. It is a fatal mistake. By stepping away from the desk, he moves away from the only panic button connected directly to the police department. The taller officer pins Abath against the wall, pulls his wrists behind his back, and clicks a pair of cold handcuffs onto him. Abath is confused, protesting, but then the second guard, who had been patrolling the upper galleries, walks down. Before he can even process what is happening, he is handcuffed too. The taller officer looks at the two young guards. He doesn't look like a cop anymore. His eyes are cold, sharp, and entirely devoid of panic. "Gentlemen," he says softly, "this is a robbery. Do not give us any trouble, and you won't get hurt." They wrap duct tape around the guards' eyes, mouths, and hands, then drag them down into the dark, damp basement, chaining them to a steam pipe and a workbench. The guards are left in the dark. Above them, the museum is completely defenseless. But here is where the story turns from a robbery into a bizarre, maddening puzzle. Most high-stakes robberies are fast. They are surgical. A team of thieves enters a vault, grabs the target within 3 minutes, and vanishes before the sirens can even begin to wail. But these two men do not rush. They spend 81 minutes inside the museum. That is an eternity. They walk slowly through the dark, quiet galleries as if they are browsing on a Sunday afternoon. Their first stop is the Dutch room on the second floor. They walk past incredibly valuable works, ignoring them. Instead, they focus on Rembrandt's The Storm on the Sea of Galilee, the master's only known seascape. It is a massive canvas depicting Christ and his disciples tossed on a dark, violent ocean. The thieves do not carefully remove it from the wall. They rip it down. They smash the heavy protective glass against the floor, shattering the silence of the room. Then, using a sharp blade, they brutally slice the canvas out of its stretcher, leaving the edges behind like a peeled skin. They do the same to another Rembrandt, a self-portrait. They try to steal a giant landscape by Govert Flinck, but they fail to get it out of its frame, leaving it crumpled on the floor. Then they move to Vermeer's The Concert. This is one of the rarest paintings in human history. Johannes Vermeer only painted 34 known works in his entire life. This single piece of canvas is worth over $250 million today. They slide it out of its frame and place it with the others. They wander into the short gallery. They steal 5 drawings by Edgar Degas. They steal a bronze eagle finial from the top of a Napoleonic flag staff. They try to unscrew the flag itself, but give up. They take an ancient Chinese bronze beaker, or gu, from the Shang dynasty, ignoring paintings nearby that are worth 10 times more. At 2:45 a.m., they walk down to the basement, check on the 2 terrified guards, and tell them they will hear from them soon. They walk out into the cool Boston night, loading $500 million of art into the back of a hatchback. And then they vanish. When the police arrive the next morning, they find a crime scene that looks like a chaotic hurricane. Glass is shattered everywhere. Empty frames are strewn across the floors. The frames of the Rembrandt and the Vermeer are still hanging, hollow and empty. But as the FBI begins its investigation, they realize that nothing about this heist makes sense. The thieves bypassed the most expensive painting in the museum, a Titian masterpiece worth more than all the stolen Degas drawings combined. Why? Why would elite art thieves steal a worthless bronze eagle finial while leaving behind priceless paintings that were right next to it? Then, the investigators look at the motion detector logs. This is where the first real chill sets in. In 1990, the museum used a state-of-the-art computerized motion tracking system. Every time someone walked through a room, the computer logged the movement and printed it out on paper. When the FBI analyzes the printouts from that night, they find a major anomaly. The motion detectors show that the thieves never entered the Blue Room. This is the room where Edouard Manet's painting, Chez Tortoni, was stolen from. Let that sink in. The painting was stolen, its frame left on a table in the museum director's office, but the motion sensors recorded absolutely no movement in that room during the entire time the thieves were in the building. How do you steal a painting from a room without ever stepping foot inside it? There are only 2 logical conclusions. Either the motion detector system was tampered with, or the painting was stolen before the thieves even entered the building. The spotlight immediately falls on Rickabath, the young guard. When the FBI reviews the motion logs from the hours before the robbery, they find something even more suspicious. At 12:02 a.m., during his routine patrol, Abath walked to the Palace Road door, the very door he would later open for the thieves. The logs show that Abath opened that door, closed it, and then continued his patrol. Why did he open a security door in the middle of the night? He claimed he was just making sure it was locked. But the door was already locked. Many believe this was a dry run, or a signal to someone waiting outside. Years go by. The FBI chases thousands of leads across the globe. They investigate the Irish Republican Army, local Boston mobsters, international art syndicates. They offer a $10 million reward, the largest private reward in history. Yet, not a single painting has ever been found. Not a single arrest has ever been made. Many of the prime suspects, members of the notorious Boston Mafia like Bobby Donati and Carmelo Merlino, died violent deaths in the years following the heist, taking their secrets to the grave. Rumors whisper that the paintings were buried in a concrete wall in Maine, or hidden in a basement in Philadelphia, or sold to a mysterious collector in Europe who looks at them in secret, underground vaults. But the truth remains hidden, just out of reach, in the shadows of that dark March night. If you walk into the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum today, the atmosphere is heavy. You can feel the absence. The empty frames are still there, exactly where Isabella wanted her art to be, catching the light of the courtyard. They are a reminder that sometimes the greatest mysteries are not about what is hidden in the dark. They are about what is missing right in front of our eyes.